This podcast is brought to you by Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series. Do you like violence? Do you like smut? Are you tired of the stereotypical novels of werewolf romance out there and want something a little bit different? Then pick up Sparked Revolution, Book 1 in the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Available on Amazon, in Kindle, and paperback. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to patreon.com/stories, the true and the fictional.
The Forgotten Thespian Night. Oh, hark! The tale of a man so bold, with cheekbones sharp and abs of gold. He once wore spandex in neon light, and kung fu kicked through every fight. A Power Ranger in 98, now solving murders on Channel 8. He's played cops, chefs, and villains thrice, a vampire dad, then Santa. Nice. He's kissed the girl, then kissed her twin, then lost both roles to Jason Finn. IMDb says he's in everything, from Sharknado 5 to The Lion King. He dies by fire, or sword, or fall, or random plague in hospital hall.
The Queen of Typecast Fire. Then lo, she enters with sultry gaze, a goddess lost in the B-list haze. Her legs enshroud her smirk divine, but cursed to speak but one single line. I'm not like other girls, you see. Then cut to credits, a tragedy. She's played the cheerleader, the nurse, or the spy, or girl in lingerie in level 5. She once starred in Elves in Space Part 2, where she outacted a CGI shrew. She's always the X, the witch, the tease, the vampire who bites with practice ease. She cries on cue, does accents fine, and yet plays hot barista one more time.
The Legend of Side Quest Cameos. Together now in Holiday Switch. He's a carpenter, she's a rich witch. They bake some cookies, sled, then kiss, but only in the PG bliss. She sighs, I never knew love was real. He grunts, I build chairs, that's how I feel. Then comes the twist, a dog inherits land. They're now a legal duo, hand in hand. He once fought kaiju in Tokyo's Bay, now battles zoning laws by day.
The curtain call. So let us raise a cheer or gin for actors who will never win. No Oscar nod, no Emmy gleam, but damn they power every stream. They've kissed more co-stars than they've met and died in ways we won't forget. Their reels a wild, majestic range, from alien prince to man who's strange. So here's to that face you kinda know from 15 seasons of One Tree Row. May Netflix bless your tireless art, you noble, hot, and underrated heart.
I think it's safe to say, suck it, we are the greatest actors of all time, and you all can suck cheese. That is how I feel. We are the greatest thespians that have ever walked this earth. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Thespian Hour. This is a new substandard or new Substack exclusive of Stories, the True and the Fictional, where we do a normal show. Yes, it is normal, but hark! And lo, we speak in our thespian tones. I am, of course, joined by a man so bold, a wise writer, who once was told, do not go near children's schools between 5 and 8, or the police will come and lock you in their gates. But a letter to an NP was sent, and now they have resent their I think I'm working right with time. Okay,
Request.
requests. We sent the
Oh.
requests. Jamie, how does it feel to be allowed near children's schools again after that unfortunate miscommunication? In their defense, they saw your photo and assumed the worst.
Well, it is a little ironic because I'm going to start doing markets, and I had to go to the government and do a check with children, like a working with children check.
Yes,
I pa and
I was
I
simply
passed.
explaining
I passed with flying colors. So
Did you really though?
yeah, yeah.
Did you?
What's that, officer? No, sorry.
Oh, of course you passed with flying colors. No one would dare doubt your honest face.
Hmm.
Now, speaking of honest face, I'm of course joined by a man who I think he's stretching the limits of our friendship. He once asked me to buy hundreds of Guy Fawkes masks, maps, capes, knives, and then to send them discreetly at him one at a time to various English addresses. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it anyway. So, Neil, you said something about it needed to be done by the 5th of November. I'm pretty sure like I can get the order to you in time in case of what you were planning.
Remember the 5th of November where nothing happened.
Oh, having said that, I always find it hilarious in the most awesome, awesome's the right word, in the most awesome way possible, where we look at that and go like, yes, that's awesome. Look at that, standing up to a corrupt and evil government. Anyway, what? Let me let me listen to
Fiction.
my let
Pure
me
fiction.
let me listen to my corrupt and evil government and do exactly what they tell me. I can see no, I can see no different,
Nothing's going
no,
to go wrong.
nothing's going to go wrong.
I'm
Oh.
glad the government do not have access to my drafts folder on X. Or it would be the Tower of London for me for the foreseeable future.
Is there still a Tower of London? Like, is that?
There is. There is. It's a tourist trap now.
Oh, that's sad. What a great tower
Yes.
that would. They should still keep people in there. That'd be fun.
Well, they have Belmarsh for that now.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, well, speaking of keeping people in, let's hear from our sponsors. Jamie, play the sponsor role.
Play the sponsor. Well, one's already played at the start, and that was
Yes.
Rebecca Cassells.
Yes.
And the Rising Dawn series,
Mhm.
and the other autobiography of Chris Park called Innocence Corrupted.
Excellent.
That's pretty. And Martin Kearns, of course, the Valor of Valhalla series, for you urban
Now,
fantasy fans.
he's writing urban fantasy, correct?
Yes.
Has he ever considered giving us the Pocahontas of urban fantasy?
Oh.
A human and an elf.
I'll shoot him.
With
I'll shoot
an
him a
appropriate.
message.
Now, I want
Lip
this to be
biting everywhere.
I want this to be a collab between Rebecca Cassells and Martin Kearns.
You've given Rebecca Cassells enough to work with, buddy.
Because I want a collab where she's an elf,
Yep.
he's a human. In this fictional world that we'll obviously craft, that obviously
Well, it can't be fictional because it's urban fantasy.
yeah, but human, as we said before, that humans will obviously be the lower class citizens, and this is the romance that we will tell West Side Story style, but not West Side Story with that stupid actress. What's her face? I don't know.
Well,
I can't
so
remember.
not the new version,
Not the new version,
the 70s.
the original version.
Yeah.
And this is the story that will have Martin Kearns write, even though I think it's outside of his wheelhouse somewhat.
Well, you don't know that. Have you read his stuff?
No, but that's the point. That's not the point. Valhalla Fallen or something sounds very fantasy and awesome. I'm asking him to write a Disney film magical romance, but
You like that. You like yeah, you know Stephen King, you know the creepy stuff. Can you do a kids musical for me?
exactly.
But still have like a demon in the background. But he has to tap. He has to tap.
But do you know?
Be careful. Remember how it ended.
But
No.
do you know what's important, Jamie, about for
Mhm.
writers? As you're a writer, obviously, as you know, and I dabble. But writing things outside of your comfort zone actually increases your knowledge and ability, obviously. So the
Mm-hmm.
more you like, if you stick to what you know, you'll get formulaic. And it's
Yeah.
good to branch out into different genres and different things, even if it's just a simple writing exercise to just
Mm-hmm.
practice on different things. And I think Martin Combs would appreciate a star-crossed lover's story between an elf and a human.
Okay. I'll make that for a soundbite for him and get
But
him to do it.
but because it's in modern times, you could have funny situations where like she dated an orc before. And then the human has to go through the unfortunate size comparisons between him and an orc, and then in his mind, and then play it through like what the hell,
It's
like
it's it's leaning into man seeking woman now.
I know
Um,
that's the whole point.
you just want man seeking woman season 4, don't you?
Of course, I mean, who does it? Like that was what a great show that was.
Have you seen
Um,
that, Neil? Have you seen it? Man seeking woman on Disney Plus.
No, I doesn't seem like it's something in my usual wheelhouse.
Yeah,
no, no, no,
it
no.
is not what you
It is
think.
it is exactly in your wheelhouse. Okay, let me tell you, like again.
Pick an episode, Chris. The pilot episode,
No, no,
or
no. The fact
or
that like
or the
she got
Japanese.
he was set up with
Yeah, that was
uh,
first
uh,
episode.
with a girl that goes, oh, she's a bit of a bridge troll. You'd think that that was a description. No, she was an actual bridge troll, like an actual
Ah,
like troll that lived under a bridge, and it only gets better from there in terms
Yeah,
of the insane. Like
yeah.
one, his girlfriend left him to date Hitler,
Like
like
literally Hitler.
actual Hitler, who lived in Argentina, which is also funny.
Yeah,
which has recently come out as probably true.
Yes. They go to a destination wedding in hell, which means they had to go buy holy swords to protect themselves because, it's hell.
yeah,
They were taken over by aliens at one
yeah.
point, and it only gets more and more insane from there.
And
And
they
it's
never explain why or
anything.
anything.
Nothing gets explained.
No.
His sister has an affair with Santa Claus, like just, and completely ruins
Yeah,
Christmas. But the point is, no, it doesn't explain why it happened. It just happens, and it's just awesome. Like it's
yeah.
just honestly.
It's based on a book series, and the book's the same. They said they're basically. It's no. We're just not going to tell you. And it's got the guy from
How to Train Your
How to
Dragon.
Train Your Dragon, Hiccup. He plays the lead, and it's got that guy from the meme where it's like where he shoots something. Like it's like
Oh,
he turns around and goes like, why
Eric
did you-"
Andre.
Yeah, and they have best friends robot battles like actually like big giant. It is a brilliantly funny, slightly disturbing show. 3 seasons, man seeking woman. The title doesn't fit the
I was going to say
the
it
description.
didn't sound like my wheelhouse, but from the
Yeah,
description, that's
I
yeah,
think you'd love it.
an important lesson in not judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, no, trust me, it is exactly your wheelhouse.
Yeah, yeah. He even dates a car once.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It's yeah.
It's
I'm
awesome.
cautiously intrigued.
Just watch episode 1. You'll be hooked. I think
Okay,
I showed Chris episode 1, and then we watched like what was it, like 6 episodes in a row after that.
Yep, yep. It
It's
was
like,
incredible.
yeah, I could sit here and name them all, but I don't want to ruin it for the viewers. Chris, what have you been doing? What have you been up to? What have you been entertaining yourself with?
Well, apart from my usual
Mm-mm.
dabbling with AI, I have gone down a bit of a memory lane
Ooh.
of quality television. And I'm not sure
Ah.
what came about at this trip between what I consider like peak era television, but it almost happened organically. I was on the YouTube or the Facebook. And then obviously, as per my normal Facebook feed, it was basically just for some reason Honey Birdette seems to want to exclusively market their videos of hot women in lingerie to me, which I'm going awesome, cool, fun Facebook feed. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that also then a Power Rangers video popped up on my feed
Mm.
and I was like going, yes, classic Power Rangers. So then I've been going a bit dabbling into the Power Rangers a little bit. Not watching the full seasons because each episode is basically the same. But watching absolute key moments of my childhood reenacted, and then so obviously like all good Power Rangers fans, it's obviously the Tommy Oliver is the greatest Power Ranger of all time. That no one, there's no question. That is not to be disputed by anyone because he was 5 different Rangers across the Power Ranger universe, and he's also the only one to ever hold the Master Morpher, which is a whole separate other thing where he can transfer. There was one episode where he literally came back, like the actual actor came back into the show, and he had a Master Morpher, and he kept changing between each of the different versions of Power Rangers he was, and it was like literally like it's on par with the Luke Skywalker Mandalorian season 2 hallway scene, like in terms of awesomeness, is basically seeing like one of your childhood heroes return. And so I watched the entirety of the Green Ranger arc where he was evil, and then all of a sudden, he became good or was freed from her evil. The Power Rangers were captured, and then only one person could save them, and they brought back the Green Ranger, even though his powers are diminishing, and he saved them, and then eventually became the White Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny. As we eventually learned later on, the White Ranger was from a different Power Ranger show altogether. It was from the next season but they just cut footage around and to make sure that that he could actually be the White Ranger
Mm-hmm.
in the Jew Ranger Super Sentai series because they were from two completely different shows, but they wanted to keep Tommy in it, so they just basically like started finding footage, cutting around footage to get into it. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing. And honestly, it's been one of the most enjoyable times because, it's classic. It's my childhood. It's classic. And I can't wait for Hasbro to ruin it when they do their show on Disney Plus, where they absolutely will butcher it because one, they're not using any Super Sentai footage because apparently they don't understand. They don't learn.
Yeah. Now, what did you feel about the Power Rangers Mystic Force? Did you
Mystic
ever watch that?
Force.
Did you ever watch that one?
Yes, I did watch Mystic Force. I know that your friend was in it.
No, not a friend. Someone I went to school with.
But he was in Mystic Force.
Yes.
Mystic Force was one of the weakest seasons because it was all about magic, which is
Well, I figured it would be because
but it wasn't a very good season. Like there are some really fun seasons of Power Rangers. Obviously Megaforce, it's one of the recent ones. Samurai, which is excellent. My personal favorite, obviously, is Ninja Steel. Not because of like how good the show was. It's because for some reason they decided like let's make sure every Ranger's an absolute smoke show. Let's make sure, like all 5 of them are the most attractive people you've ever seen in your entire life, and we'll put them on in a single season. And so like you're watching them going like, you are so much more attractive than every single other actor extra in this entire show. It is borderline like painfully obvious when watching it, but that's what makes the show fun. When they went like, yes, we won't get normal looking actors for this one. We're just gonna hire an entire group of smoke shows and be like, yes, this is exactly what we wanted in my Ranger show. Several of those Rangers will make an appearance in our main topic, but I'll save that for the main topic. I got Monster Hunter Wilds.
The game.
The game.
Yeah.
Great game, love it. I'm not sure, Jamie. I know you've never played a Monster Hunter before,
I think I've played some of the first one.
but this is the time to get into it because it's an open world Monster Hunter, so it's actually
Okay.
it's open world. You can play offline if you want to, but you can play with others as well. But it's also they've made the mechanics a little bit more friendly for sort of new people who've never played the game before. So if you don't plan out a hunt, you don't like it's fine. Like if you bring additional equipment, it's better.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, I didn't plan out a hunt. Well, fuck. That's it. And also you can sort of solo take certain creatures down by itself. But previously the game was designed that you couldn't. It was basically impossible. But very, very awesome game. Attractive female characters because apparently Capcom have come to their senses and be going, okay.
Is Capcom Western or is it?
Well, no, you see, the thing is they're a Japanese company, but they have a lot of Western influence.
Okay.
So the Western San Francisco office of Capcom used to hold a lot of sway.
All right. Okay.
But from
You lost me at San Francisco.
yeah, but playing this game, it's very clear they've gone back to their roots of basically going, yes, this is this is a game about hunting monsters. Look at this female blacksmith in a crop top, who has an awesome animation sequence as she makes your equipment.
And that outfit is so functional,
Functional.
Like
it is the most
perfect for a
functional.
blacksmith.
It is perfect for a blacksmith.
Hey, if you're slaving away over a forge, you don't need that much insulation.
I have to put it in the chat. Hang on.
This is some of that Patreon content we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, this is important.
Very important.
This is super important.
While you're doing that, just going back to you mentioned Power Rangers. Did you watch the 2015 short of Power Rangers with James Van Der Beek and Katie Sackhoff?
I did. Loved it. I like some people didn't
What
like
a
it.
great idea! No, those people aren't people you need in your life.
No, that was awesome. Like that was like it was such a cool like and you know what? As per anyone does in a Power Rangers like show or season, Tommy was the hero at the end because obviously Tommy Oliver is the greatest Power Ranger of all time, so that's why the Green Ranger is always considered the best. Anyway, but that was such a awesome like yeah, that was awesome, and I think that was supposedly also illegal for them to do that because like it crossed some
It did very
lines.
quickly disappear from a lot of the sources I saw it on.
Yeah, because it sort of like crossed some lines of saying like that's not that's not a fan production of like a homage. That's a proof of concept. That is literally that's you. That's a stream studio making something going. Hey guys, let's do this. Anyway, I posted several pictures of of her blacksmithing.
Right. I wish
Let's bring it
to
up.
now with extra context, I wish to go back and alter my previous statement on slaving away over a forge. You don't need that much insulation. To the second image you posted mid-strike. That's a lot of sparks and a bare midriff and a fair amount of cleavage.
Yes,
That's gonna hurt.
But it's fantasy
And
sparks, man.
it's fantasy sparks. They don't hurt.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate the loose and purposefully messy hair, but I feel like that would get in the way of some vigorous forging.
Well, I go
So
to her to
aesthetics
forge.
versus practicality, aesthetics of one
She
out.
forges all my gear, and I've killed many a monster, so I think she's doing a fantastic job.
There you go.
All right,
There we are.
moving on to Neil.
Neil!
What have you been doing?
No.
Nothing?
oh,
Hanging out with Zod?
very little. Very little. The continuing march through Buffy and Angel continues. Slowly but surely.
Where are you up to now?
Buffy, for about 2/3 of the way through the 4th season. My least favorite season.
That's it. Which one's that one? That's the
That's we're in college and it's the Initiative and Adam.
lame.
But a lot. We are alternating that with Angel and Angel season 1 during Buffy season 4. You forget how good some of those episodes are.
Yep.
And they are very, very good. What else? Revisited Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, is that
Randomly.
the M. Night?
No, it's Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon wrote that one.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, is that the Dave Bautista?
No. This
that's
was
a different one.
This is the very self-aware parody of horror in the same way that Scream was a self-parody of the slasher genre.
All right, yeah.
And it's the young college kids going for the getaway in a cabin in the woods. He said the title. Ah.
No, he said the title.
He said the title. But they all kind of fit the horror tropes.
All right, yeah.
And but it turns out that they're actually all being monitored by some shadowy organization who are orchestrating their future demise.
Love
to
it.
satisfy eldritch elder gods.
So it's done by Joss Whedon.
Yes.
How many women did he harass on the set? Like if you had to highball or lowball that number, what number do you think?
I don't think they put that in the credits.
No, I mean I believe he wrote. He didn't direct it. I believe.
Okay.
So he was.
So like,
So So probably only his assistant.
Only assistant. Okay, okay. So like 4 or 5. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well.
I'm conflicted on all of that. I think it was a couple of weeks ago when we mentioned the Buffy revisit
Mm-hmm.
reunion,
Yep.
re
Yep. Yep.
something,
Yep. Yep.
but not a reboot. Um, where you can't have this stuff without Joss Whedon. But then it was either have Joss Whedon do the thing or have the cast.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to work together from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I feel very conflicted on that because Joss Whedon's written some really good stuff and Alien Resurrection. um, but then there's a lot of stuff that I don't know how much is confirmed and how much is not confirmed, but it seems to be a fairly consistent thing where people say he's not the greatest person to work with,
Yes.
Yeah.
and that sucks. But no, Cabin in the Woods. My daughter watched it with us because she's decided that she's big into horror and she likes the scaries. I thought, well, let's skip the thing for now. We'll skip Alien. We'll skip House on Haunted Hill. We'll do Cabin in the Woods. It's a parody. There's jokes and laughs.
Mm.
And also one awkward moment my wife and I both forgot where a young Chris Hemsworth decides to orally pleasure his on-screen partner,
Good for him.
which was awkward. But then luckily some zombies came along and saved us from the awkwardness.
But good for him. You know, like again, the giving and receiving ratio should be stacked on more than one side. Movies don't portray that. Good for him. Good for him.
Oh, I concur. But we ended up watching the rest of the film, and for the first time in many years, our daughter ended up sleeping in our bed because she was that scared.
Scared.
So all the horror films are now going on the back burner
Yeah.
because I thought that was a fairly mild one myself,
No.
and yeah, maybe someone's mouth was writing checks their ass could not cash.
Yes. But I love you know one thing I find funny about horror and like scary scenes is because when they put them on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, they have to change the music to not get copyrighted. So then certain scenes become absolutely fucking hilarious.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Because I watched a scene
Ah,
where this demon literally was like walking over to the woman's bed and like asking her questions. No, but they put like this like the dun, 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 music behind it, and it went from like in the movie Evil, it went from like a really like terrifying sleep paralysis demon to a really annoying roommate who kept asking her questions. Yeah, which is like,
that one.
it's like you completely changed the scene. The
Have you
music.
have you seen the videos where people do trailers and they
Yeah.
turn comedies into horror movies?
Yeah, because of
And
the music.
they did
All the
Yeah.
music.
and the cut they do cutaways like they did Mrs. Doubtfire,
Yeah.
and that was so brilliant. It fitted so well.
I do think I've seen that one. That's the it's fun. That's the juxtaposition of the music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he's just peeks the
Yeah.
curtain aside, and it's the one where he flips someone the bird, but it's like that's
Yeah.
so
But
brilliantly done.
but it's also like you've seen it before, the Indiana Jones set to MacGyver music, which is
Yes.
like music, John Williams
Makes or
matters.
breaks.
Look, honestly,
Yeah.
I'll say it, John Williams, Hans Zimmer, they matter.
Yeah. Well, even remember the Avengers fad where they're putting the Avengers
On just other things, yeah.
Yeah.
and it works on Lord of the Rings. You
Yeah,
know?
it works everything. Oh, look, don't get me sad about the MCU, Jamie. Don't get me sad.
I started rewatching it.
Isn't
and-
it? Isn't it?
There's
isn't
nothing. There's nothing sad about the MCU. Avengers Endgame was a perfectly great ending to the entire thing.
Yes, I agree.
know what you're
100%.
talking about.
That is the end of the MCU.
Yeah, no, well, I always felt like the second Spider-Man, No Way, no, not No Way Home, Far From Home. I felt like that was a good epilogue. Like it felt like an epilogue film. And
You're
I'll give him.
entitled to your opinion. You can be as wrong as you'd like. I'm
Well,
sorry that
I control
I
the edit.
think
I
that
loved it.
that was the second one was beat for beat was basically just the first one again.
Yeah, but that's what comic book movies are. I mean, I'm starting watching the MCU
Mhm.
again, and they do the same thing. It's like, first Iron Man, who's the bad guy? Another Iron Man. You know, you know, Ant-Man.
How far through
Another
this
Ant-Man.
journey are you?
Phase. I just watched Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay. You're still on the good
I am
ones.
skipping over. I didn't do Iron Man 3. Never watch Iron Man 3. I didn't watch Iron 4 2, and I'm about to jump on Guardians.
Hmm.
So
You know what's you know what's really
Those
funny?
those films didn't age that badly
No, those
considering
films are
what
good.
came later.
yeah,
Those are excellent films. I think again, as we said, there is a great MCU arc of movies. There's a movie in it that doesn't belong, which that
yeah,
was more of a side movie, so it's not really important if you
yeah,
skip. Actually, there's two movies that there's two
yeah.
movies that I'm saying
Well,
I've never watched. I've watched like once in my entire life. There are two movies of the entire
yeah,
MCU, but there are other ones like Winter Soldier. I'll watch like 1,000 times because
yeah.
like
It's so good.
God, that
Oh,
fights like that fight. Those fight scenes. That's when they really took it up a notch. They went like,
Yeah,
hey, what happens if Cap not only was like previously Cap was like the sort of the 40s brawler. They went, wait. What if Cap watched a bunch of the Raid films
yeah,
and then and then change his entire fighting style to this
yeah,
quick in out but you
yeah.
know what? That makes sense because he would
Because
have
he'd adapt.
he would have
Yeah,
adapted to modern times, and his lack of and also he's like Cap doesn't kill people. That dude he just kicked into the wall is completely alive.
they never said that. They never
I know,
said
I
that he
know, but
doesn't kill.
it's implied that he's like not, but like
I don't think
when
it is though. I
when he
just
throw okay
in
if
Winter
he's
Soldier, he's like threw a grenade at
not true,
like
yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
people. He
He kills
kills.
people. I
He's a
know, but
soldier in war.
but I think it's just funny like when he throws his shield and hits the guy in the head. I'm
Yeah,
going, that dude has the strength to hold a helicopter. That dude is dead. That dude,
yeah, yeah.
that
You
dude's
know it.
head.
They just don't talk about it.
I know, but but what's really funny and annoying me because I could see how they could fix MCU. It's very easy. When they do their big Avengers movies, or when they do, and they want to bring they want to bring like a true Captain America. I get
Mm-hmm.
that, but they already set up the perfect Captain America return
Yeah,
perfectly. They're just too chicken shit to pull it off.
yeah,
Imagine this, Jamie. Picture this final big battle or medium battle, depending on what you
yeah,
arc, and all of a sudden you hear a whizzing sound as the villain is about to strike the final blow against the hero. Which don't care which one because the
yeah,
the current crop sucks.
yeah,
And then his weapon's knocked out of his hand and spins back around, and someone catches it. The shield. It's the
yeah.
shield. But he's in the darkness. You can't truly see. But he's not wearing the full Captain America uniform. It's almost like a half uniform. Yes. But he's moving exactly like Cap. He's fighting like Cap. But then you realize it's James Rogers,
Yeah,
Captain
his son.
America's son.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then
Like,
yeah, you bring
yeah,
that in. And hold on. Anyway,
it's
but
yeah. That's what they
but
should be doing.
in the comics, he was actually Widow and like he was Widow and Cap's son. But again,
Yeah,
Peggy Carter and Cap's son still would be working.
yeah,
If they wanted to like make sure the timeline sort of line up more, it would be Captain America's grandson. So you would say let's say he had a son and
yeah.
then he had two children. But then you could also have him have two children, or that
Mm-hmm.
his son has two children, and then you could actually have like the actual Captain Britain and Captain America. So the
Yeah.
girl that takes more after her grandmother Peggy Carter, he takes more after the father. Then you could bring like these two
Mm-hmm.
stout heroes back into the MCU, and instead of trying to rehash and bring back the old guard, you bring them something new that still ties to the legacy and then is acceptable, and doesn't have a TV series that was so overly political at the time that was like that kind of killed his entire like vibe. Like because everyone thought, oh, cool, Bucky is a new sorry, Falcon has a new cap. That's awesome. That's gonna be awesome. Let's make a TV series about a political charge that's so stupid. And they're like, oh my
Yeah,
god, you
yeah,
killed your
yeah,
own show.
yeah.
Anyway,
I know.
beside the point.
We should. No, well, I maintain they should just abandon the MCU altogether. You're done. Now do what you did with the MCU, but with X-Men.
Yes,
Bill.
but
What start off strong and then
No,
gradually decline into
well, I don't know. 22. What MCU is 22 movies and three were bad. Ultimately, like three were really bad out of those 22.
yeah,
So
that's again.
I just know when to finish.
Where does 22 take us?
Well, the last 22 is Endgame.
Right. Okay.
There's
Okay. I
22
wasn't sure
movies.
if I was continuing to delude myself that they stopped at that point.
No, no. Well, that was the initial arc, and then went, let's do more without a plan. You know, like they knew where it was headed.
Oh, and here's the truth. Did Kevin Feige even have a plan, or was it other people's plan that he just sort of latched
Oh,
onto?
it's probably Favreau's plan. I like to
Or
think
it's Favreau's
I
plan.
think Favreau had a list, and then like that's that Mr. Bean scene,
Mm.
where he's copying the guy next to him.
Yeah.
That meme.
John Favreau needs someone to cut him a break and actually let him finish his ideas.
Yeah. Well, that's why he sneaked Luke Skywalker into Mandalorian.
Yeah, and then look what they did in retaliation.
They retaliated hard.
How dare you give the fans what they want?
God.
How dare you give the fans what they want?
Darth Kennedy shooting lightning out of their hands at him.
I like to think that when Favre got let go or backlash came from the studio, I reckon he just walked out going, worth it. I like to think he was just like,
into the
worth
sunset,
it.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else? Okay, so I've been watching Smallville as well. I'm about halfway through. I got to the sad death of John Kent. That episode was so flipping gut-wrenching. Where he what is it like? Yeah, so Lana dies, and then he goes back. Clark goes back and goes, "No, you must save her," to Jor-El, and then time gets reset, and then Jonathan Kent dies.
Yeah, but I think that was Jor-El being a dick. He could like of all the people to pick, it just so happened to like no, come on.
Yeah. And what else did I watch? I ran a movie. Do you remember an old movie called The Core from like 20 years ago?
I remember that. I saw it in the cinema.
Oh, good classic old film like Aaron Eckhart. Man, this will lean into a topic later, but I've always loved Aaron Eckhart and that nerdy guy from all the nerdy stuff. Is he from Euro Trip or Road Trip or?
One of those trips.
And he was in an episode of Supernatural or two at the Roadhouse, I think.
Roadhouse.
Yeah. Oh, look, yeah, no, I loved it.
DJ Qualls,
Is that his name?
the scrawny guy from
scrawny guy.
Road Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typecast.
I know this because I've just looked it up on the other screen.
Ooh,
No,
Google. Power
someone's
of Google.
cheating.
The power of Google.
Yes.
But no, that's about it. All from me. So, how do you guys feel about underrated actors?
You know my opinions on that. I believe we did an entire
Underrated.
I believe we did an entire introduction based upon our feelings on actors who are underrated.
Now, for this, yes, I do have a list, but it's not Screen Rant because I don't think I've found one.
Green Rant didn't do a list.
I think they probably did, but it was just like I don't agree with any of these, and I don't want to have a whole list of us going no, because then it's boring. But as a caveat, I think what I'd like to say counts as underrated is
Let's get the definitions on the table.
never won an Oscar.
Definitions might ruin my list I have over here.
No, well, we're still open to interpretation and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
but
I
okay,
like to think
never winning an Oscar. That puts like
a lot of people.
That puts like what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. in that mix.
I know.
No. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah.
That's not.
Okay.
No, not winning an Oscar is one of the
One of the caveats. Yeah.
points.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously you can go like if you're in a massive blockbuster and you have a super successful career, like again Robert Downey Jr. I think that's because this would also put Johnny Depp in the mix as well,
And Hugh Jackman.
and Hugh Jackman. Yeah,
He didn't win. Lame is.
but yeah, you can. Oh yeah, well I don't think he cared because that was his dream role and he got to do his dream role. So,
He should have won, but that's beside
Oh, yeah,
beside the
but-
point.
but we've had this argument for a long time because he was up against Abraham Lincoln. It
True.
didn't matter who played Abraham Lincoln.
I could have played Abraham
They were
Lincoln.
going to win. Yeah, you could have played
Helen
Lincoln.
Hunt could have played
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln.
Kristen Stewart. This is how Megan Fox could have gotten her Oscar.
By playing Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, because you had that deal with your sister, didn't you?
Yeah, I had $50, but I refused to pay.
Hey, is she still acting?
She's still acting. She is still active. It's not over yet.
It doesn't count until the very end of life.
Who says she can't become a Glenn Close kind of actress and like
Yeah.
really take off in her later years? Who
There is some
says?
serious cope going on right now. Pure, unrefined copium. Just cut into lines on a mirror.
Okay, no. No, you don't know.
Oh.
You
But
don't know. All right, do we want to look at this
Oh.
list first, or do we want to rattle off our thoughts?
Let's do the list.
Well, okay, this is a list. The only thing I could find was 20 celebrities that have never won an Oscar, so we can rule out who's doesn't count.
who says Megan Fox can't become Meryl Streep in her older years? Anyway, that's okay. That's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done.
All right.
Because remember, Meryl Streep's career,
Mm-hmm.
whilst it's been a successful and quite honestly legendary career, if Tom Hanks is the greatest male actor of the era, I believe Meryl Streep is very much. I don't think she's close to being. I think she is the greatest female actor of of the time. But her run of awards came when she was much when she was a little bit older, and and so I think that's she had some stuff when she was younger, but there was always like the mother kind of roles, and then obviously then as she got old. So again, point is Meryl Streep. Anyway,
No step, yeah. Okay, so this is from a website I've never heard of called Good Housekeeping.
okay.
Probably for the trad wives.
I love Treadwives.
Nothing wrong with the trad wives.
And it's 20 celebrities you'd never believe haven't won an Oscar. So Samuel L. Jackson, do we think he's underrated, or is he
No,
just
that's just Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Move on.
Everyone loves Samuel Jackson.
Move on. Move on.
Demi Moore?
Move on.
Ralph Fiennes. He's never won an Oscar.
But again,
Interesting.
no. No, he's gonna be in too many amazing films. Like, no,
Okay.
move on.
Ed Norton?
No, again.
No. John Lithgow?
Oh, he's a treasure.
He's a treasure.
He was on my short list for this list.
But no, how
But
no.
at the same time, I don't think he gets enough credit for,
No.
30 Rock was amazing. Was just
30,
was
yeah.
was
Third
legendary.
Third Rock from the Sun.
And his
Yeah.
scenes in Dexter were even more
Yeah.
creepy and awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that
amazing.
kind of leans to it. Farquaad,
Cliffhanger.
Lord Farquaad.
No, you're true. Okay. No, I think
Dawn
I
of the
would,
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think he would say he's had I think he's had a legendary career, not
Yeah.
underrated for sure.
All right. I don't know who Angela Bassett is.
I do. No, again, I think she's had a great career.
Yeah.
Like great actress. So no, I'm not gonna say yeah, she's never won anything, but no.
Oh, there you go. No,
No.
it said after 40 years in this. Oh, okay. She's got an honorary Oscar. That doesn't count.
That's an Irish name.
An Irish name. Lady-
Sarah Saoirse is Ronan. No.
No.
Too popular. Way too popular.
Amy
And
Adams.
get fucked. Get too popular. Move
too
on.
popular. Willem Dafoe.
Oh, you shut the fuck up.
No,
Too
no,
popular.
he should have won an Oscar, but
He should have had
is-
an Oscar by now.
He should have, yeah.
Yep.
Tom Cruise.
Space Pope.
To
Oh yes, because Maverick was really underrated. Like
Yeah.
that
we're not
film-
talking. We're not talking about the movies being
That
underrated. We're talking
tiny
about the
film.
actor being
The
underrated.
Last Samurai was a terrible film. No, come on.
Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt. Coleman Domingo. I don't know. What is he from?
Not sure. Maybe.
He was in Fear the Walking Dead. So maybe he is
I
underrated.
watched a little bit of that.
Maybe he's underrated. Okay.
Maybe.
Call him-
Helen, but no, she's
No, Helen
too
Bonham
big.
Carter is a treasure. Like no,
Yeah. Johnny Depp. No, he's too good.
no.
No,
What?
Watts,
No,
too
come on.
good. Bradley Cooper.
No, too popular. He was in the fucking Star is Born and like, come on.
And he's a raccoon.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Taraji P. Henson.
No, everyone knows Empire. Like, come on.
Sigourney Weaver. No.
No,
Glenn Close.
come on.
No.
come on.
They're all... Woody Harrelson.
Woody
fuck off.
Harrelson.
He's been
No.
He's been nominated. but he's never won.
The legendary man himself. No, go away.
I love Woody
Yeah,
Harrelson. No, Timothy
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet's overrated, not underrated.
Yes. There you
Like
go.
he's overrated.
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 And why are we saying, oh, you'd never believe he hasn't won an Oscar? He's like 30, man. He's a
And
baby.
also, I can understand why he hasn't won an Oscar. He's shit.
Yeah.
Like.
There you go.
Just tell how you feel. Just don't hold back.
Just tell us
I'm
how
just
you feel.
saying he was direct competition
He's
for
not
Tom
won an
Holland.
Oscar. He's shit.
Oh,
Well-
from my understanding,
Oh.
if you believe the trades, he was the direct competitor to Tom Holland in the Zendaya sweeps.
Mm.
So
Well,
apparently, well, Tom won out. So
someone
you know,
out. Yes.
Did he?
Marrying a taller girl.
that
Are
is
they
true.
married yet?
No, I think they're engaged though.
They're engaged? Yeah.
But it's a Hollywood engagement, so
It's still time, Tom. Get out. Get out while the going's good.
yeah. Well,
There you
So
go.
Although-
do we have short lists then?
I do.
of,
I have a list of
I
people.
have
we
I have
go.
lists now. Yeah, take it away, Neil. Tell us your thoughts.
Oh no.
Who are some of your
I have a
underrated actors?
Okay. Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo. What's he from?
He was Crossbones in the MCU.
Oh,
He
right.
was
Yeah.
the protagonist in 2 of the Purge series. And he was in I think it was a Netflix movie or an Amazon movie, Boss Level, which is like a Groundhog Day type thing where everyone's trying to kill him. That was, if anyone's not seen that, I'm pretty sure it's called Boss Level, and that was a very fun film. I think that he's the times where he actually gets to show to act and do some emotion. I think he's very good. I just think he gets thrown into fighty roles quite a bit, and he's good at them. But I think there's more range. I don't know if you're going to have to find nice profile shots of everyone for the inevitable shorts, Jamie.
Well, I might. What I might do is I might go into share screen again, and we'll just IMDb these people. It'll be the quickest
Okay.
way
No, Jamie, put some effort into it.
to do. I put a lot of effort into. All right,
Frank Grillo.
Frank Grillo. It was the first thing to pop up. There he is. And he's fresh in my mind because I just watched Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's in
Bones.
Chris's favorite movie, The Grey.
Ugh.
Yeah. All right. Who else is on your list there, Neil?
Okay, I've got Eliza Dushku, who's mostly known as Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the spin-off Angel.
Albanian, hot.
Again,
Yeah, absolutely.
she doesn't, I believe she doesn't do acting anymore due to some rather unfortunate crap that happened on set of a show.
All right.
I believe she's a therapist now, which when I found that out blew me away. Imagine going to therapy and having Faith, the psychotic vampire slayer, telling you it's going to be all right.
Yep.
And yes, I think I walked in the other day into my living room. My daughter was watching. It's one of the cheerleader movies with.
Bring It On or Step Up or
Bring it on.
Bring It On. Yeah.
how did I know that? I don't know.
She was in Dollhouse, and the whole premise that she was essentially a different person in every episode just gave her a great opportunity to show her range. I have William Fitchner, who is
I know that name.
he's one of those actors who you will recognize from Flipping Everything.
Oh yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yep,
He's in Prison Break.
he was. He was.
Ah,
in Black
yes,
Hawk
I know
Down.
the William Fitchner.
The
He
Bad
was in
Turtles.
The Dark Knight
Yes. In
at the
Do
beginning.
you know who you're stealing money from?
Yep, that's him.
No, he's brilliant.
He is great. I have not one I necessarily agree with, but my daughter, when we were discussing this in my living room earlier, said David Boreanaz.
He's not.
I think
No, he's too popular.
She has I promised I would mention him.
He's too
she has
popular.
A type.
Oh.
I mean, there's Angel, and they're not going to bring him back as Angel because decades have passed and he's a vampire.
Yeah, and he
I,
looks like very old now.
I no, I don't necessarily think so.
He's not kept in shape,
Um,
basically, because he's since the SEAL team show ended. I don't think he's kept in shape. Well, relatively kept
well,
in shape, like yeah.
I have a controversial one,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and I have don't jump down my throat when I say the name, and I will
Hmm.
explain myself. Heath
Yep.
Ledger.
No, he's great.
Heath Ledger was
Underrated? Come on.
underrated until his final role.
Yeah.
I
There
mean,
you go.
he was good in stuff, but you didn't get that many people talking about
Yeah.
A Knight's
Uh,
Tale.
A Knight's Tale is the greatest film of all time. What are you
It
talking about?
it's a great film. I watched that
I watch
again
it all the time.
recently.
I watch it all the time. It's literally like
It's so much fun.
it's peak film. It's peak.
Yeah.
But I think that given his sadly his final performance, he was on the verge of greatness after
He
that
was.
Yeah.
performance,
Yeah.
and we'll never know how that would have gone. I would say this would have been his breakout role.
Well,
Yeah.
the third Dark Knight film would have been very different because it would have been all about Joker. It would have been like they would have
Yeah,
gone.
it was supposed to be the Joker was actually being manipulated by the League of Shadows, if I remember correctly, and
Mm.
it was going to be, even though he felt like an agent of chaos, he was manipulated.
But
But
they
then,
would have gone hard on the Joker in that third
Well,
one.
they filmed two endings. They filmed one where he died and one where he lived.
Yeah.
hmm. Okay, I have two more.
Yep.
Um, Jeffrey Combs,
Is that with a G or a J?
Combs as J, Jeffrey. Who anyone who's a fan of Star Trek will recognize from about 7 different characters.
Mm.
This guy is, if you're not familiar, Jeffrey Combs was Shran in Star Trek Enterprise, who's my favorite reoccurring character. He was the Vorta Wayun in Deep Space Nine, which is the best Star Trek series. Fight me. He played. He's played. Those were main kind of recurring characters, and then he played a handful of other just one-off roles. He's also been in a movie called Would You Rather, which is a kind of a tense thriller horror type thing about people requiring finances who don't have it and are all invited to a mansion to play games for the evening, and the winner of said games will win a butt ton of money.
Ah, Squid Game.
And the games become, they're all sat around a big dining table, and the games become, would you rather electrocute yourself or the person next to you? Would you rather hit the person next to you with a really big stick or get hit yourself? It's quite a tense film, and it escalates very quickly. There's a few faces in there that I recognize. The guy, I think it was the guy that played the Penguin in Gotham, was in it, as was Sasha Grey, a name that if you know, you know.
Yep.
Excellent.
Chris, you are also a gentleman of culture, I see.
I am a gentleman of culture.
Yes. The last one I have, as a recovering Star Wars fan, is Sam Witwer.
Whitwer.
Sam Witwer has voiced
Voice
a
of the
number of
Darth Maul.
characters.
Yep.
Yes, he was also
Star
the yes, he was Star Killer. He was also, if anyone watched Battlestar Galactica, he was Crashdown,
Yep.
the Raptor pilot in season 1. And if you go onto YouTube and you're a nerd such as myself, and you have a lot of Star Wars searches in your algorithm, you've probably had interviews where Sam Witwer is sat in a writer's room or a script reading, and he's talking about how he was sat with all these people, the heads of Lucasfilm. There's Dave Filoni, and he's correcting them on the law. This man knows, and he's done a lot of voice work. Whenever I've seen him physically on screen, he's a really good actor.
Yep.
And yet, unless you are a diehard Star Wars fan, I'm gonna say you probably don't know who he is.
Yep, agree, 100%.
But if you're watching this on video, or if this becomes a YouTube short, there's his picture. Go check him out.
Sam Witwer.
And
Nice.
that is my list.
All right, Chris, who you got?
Well, I think I have to pay homage to the greatest man of all time, Jason David Frank, R.I.P.
Is that the Power Ranger dude? Oh yeah, of
Indeed.
course, yeah.
Underrated, except if you're in a very tiny circle of Power Rangers fans who think he's like the greatest man of all time, because he is. As absolutely, again, like really, like without him, there is no Power Rangers. Like I'll be honest, like he's like he sort of um and when you watch the show, because you see how many like different versions of the show he's been in, um, you actually got to see the actual Tommy Oliver's life story, where he was like, you got to see him as a Power Ranger, then he went away, he went to college, and he came back as another Ranger, and then you sort of see him later on in one of the later series where he was a teacher, and he was like then the mentor to the new generation of Rangers, the Black Ranger. It was very awesome to sort of see like the evolution of the Oliver character. As he got married and had a kid, but then still became a power, still doing still doing Power Ranging things. And then if you're in the comics world, you know of obviously Lord Draken, his alter ego, which is awesome, which is basically the shattered grid, where he basically there was a version of Tommy that didn't go good, but still got the White Ranger power, and then combined it with his Green Ranger energy, and then took over the entire Power Rangers multiverse, and then created armies of Power Rangers. Used like and it was all anyway awesome comic book arc. All right, but next one, Casper Van Dien.
I know that name.
Johnny Rico.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Because obviously, again, if you're in the small niche of people that know who he is, then you know who he is.
Yeah.
God damn it. But if you're not, you have no idea who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But of course,
yeah,
who doesn't?
it's crazy how many people from Starship Troopers took off in a big career, and he just
Yeah,
didn't
he did
seem
not.
to, and he was the
He's
lead.
very he follows the Starship Troopers kind of fandom online. He's very active with the fans.
Wow,
Yep,
that's cool.
yep. I love again, great character. He even came back and every time there's voicing of a Starship Trooper role, it's Johnny. Now next one is one of my favorite, Keith David.
Oh no, he's too much of a
No,
lev.
no. He is not underrated. Keith
He is a
David is a
royal.
legend. He is Hollywood royalty, and I will fight anyone that begs differ.
Exactly. I'm
Like
sorry. Yeah.
like the voice alone on Gargoyles, Mass Effect.
He's just got that presence, man.
Yep.
What's
All right,
what's your favorite Keith David role?
Goliath and Gargoyles, obviously. Like
There was this show called
the Cape.
Unlisted. No, I was either going to go I was either going to go the Cape or Unlisted, Enlisted or whatever it is. You remember that Enlisted sitcom that
Oh
lasted like
yeah,
one season,
one season.
and people hated it because it like dissed the military. But
Yeah.
And
All right.
pretty
my
funny.
favorite
No, look,
my favorite Keith David role was he played the character King in Platoon by Oliver Stone.
all right, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to mention two more. I'm going to mention three more people.
Yeah.
One of them is going to be controversial.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Uh, in the cult fandom, he is
He's pretty big.
royalty.
Yeah.
Outside of the cult fandom, I think people would recognize him and go, "Oh, hey, that's that guy."
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go with some deep cuts now.
Okay.
Claire
Ah.
Holt,
Okay. What's she from? I know the face.
Australian.
Ooh. Are you feeling all right, Chris?
I am. She was in a greatest TV show called H2O Just Add Water, which is obviously on there,
Yep,
where
down there.
she was a mermaid.
Oh, okay. I sense this is an awakening, Chris's young awakening.
No, it isn't a young awakening, but like
This is like after Pocahontas has like brought you into now you're like, oh, your sister's like real people, Chris, real people. It's here.
Now
but
I'm
she
a
was
man.
I'm a man, but she was in, again in
And
a lot of
she's a
small
fish.
in a lot of smaller roles, but obviously in the Vampire Diaries, Pretty Little Lies, as you see there.
Ah, yeah.
I know mostly from the Vampire Diaries, where she plays one of the original vampires, which is awesome. I'm not sure if you've watched any of the show, but if you like, they have that they brought it in the concept later
It's
on that
been on in the room, and
yeah,
my lovely wife will know all about it.
very good show. But one of the most awesome scenes you'll ever see in the show was when they first brought in the concept of like that. Yeah, the show has the concept that the older the vampire gets, the stronger they are, so that makes sense. And then the older vampires are much stronger than the younger vampires. Younger vampires being more flippant and a bit more like, you know, like emo-y or angry or whatever.
Hmm.
But they brought in like this guy who's an original because apparently they said like all vampires descend from one of five different or like five different originals, and to show the strength difference between original and a very powerful like a vampire has been like giving trouble, he walked over to the dude, swung his arm, and the dude's head literally like ripped off his socket. He fell down dead. And then going, and you go like immediately you go like, oh, okay, these are different. These are different kind of people. These are different kind of thing. But it's also they also get the originals will also like sometimes by their brother sort of like put into hibernation and sleep because if an original dies, his entire lineage of vampires also dies. So it's also like you shouldn't really kill one because you basically kill like thousands upon thousands. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, another one, Phoebe Tonkin, and yes, bring her. Yes, yeah. Bring her up. And look at also show she's scroll down. Scroll down. Look at also show she was also in. Scroll down to this, one of the Australian shows. Just keep going down. Where's all the
Deal.
there's all the look at all the
Ever after Vampire Diaries. Oh, I see where you're getting all yours
and
from.
also
From
same
where the war
show
Tomorrow,
began.
where the war began.
and also to keep going down. What's the show?
H2O.
H2O. Just out of order. She was in it with Holt. She
I think I'm
was
gonna
in
have to
this.
click on this now.
You have
There's
to.
a theme developing here.
It is an awesome show. It is literally like
And Chris, you feeling right? It's rated G.
I know, but it's like this is like original. This is peak Australian television.
Yeah. Just add what? Oh man.
Actually, scroll down. I wonder, like two. I want to see if the third mermaid became famous. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was only the two.
Oh, the other one?
Carabaheen. Yeah, Carabaheen.
All right, let's click on Cara Braheen.
Did she become anything?
Designated survivor.
Okay. So
Hey,
this one
the
tiny,
Pacific.
so this one tiny Australian
yeah.
TV show launched three careers. Okay, interesting. There you go. Anyway.
Dude, it always happens. It
It's
always
one
happens
tiny
like that.
Australian show. I mean, look, they're three smoke shows, so it's like their careers were almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my list.
Your sense of theme with mine too. Hollier
Yes.
from Stargate Atlantis.
Mm,
Great villain.
yep.
And all round,
Yep.
he's been in some bigger stuff. Die Hard.
He was one of the Janai, wasn't he?
Yes, the
Yes, he
Janai.
was.
Yeah.
They're
But
totally not Nazis.
he's had a pretty amazing career. He actually met Pablo Escobar.
He looks like he looks like he could meet Pablo Escobar.
Like he was like this is a story I heard because Tim Pool interviewed him once.
He did. I was going to mention that.
And he's like I think he was filming a Bond movie, License to Kill, I think it was. And Pablo Escobar was a huge fan and he's just like these gentlemen in a black van rocked up and said, "Come with us." He's like, "What?" He's can't come with us, and he's like ends up going with them and then driving down this long driveway and then there's Pablo Escobar, He's like, I'm a
Nice.
huge fan of yours, The other Stargate related guy. No, not Christopher
Christopher
Nolan.
Judge.
No. No.
No.
Christopher Heyerdahl.
Oh.
Todd the Wraith.
Oh my goodness! How did this escape me?
Yep, he's been in everything.
He's
Supernatural.
fantastic.
He's in all the sci-fi shows.
Yeah, in all the he never has to leave Canada. Hell on Wheels. Yeah, he did a show with Andrew Garfield. it's like a detective show. He was really good in that. He played a creepy Mormon. I've always loved him in everything he's done. Completely. I don't know. Now let's go to the obvious one. Michael
Ah,
Shanks.
Michael Shanks.
Oh, he turned up in 24, didn't he?
Probably. He's someone else who does the rounds. He's done he was in Supernatural. He was in was he in he had some new medical show he did with Erica Durance where he dies and he's walking around the hospital as a, between the planes and helping people
Well, that sounds kind of cool.
diagnose. It's pretty full on medical, like it's pretty gruesome. Like they do weird the thing that stuck with me from that show
Oh,
is like someone had to get a leg amputated out in the field and they did it with like the bolt
the
cutters.
wire saw.
No,
Oh,
bolt cutters. They
oh
had
God, no,
and I'm just
no,
like,
no,
oh yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
It's a pretty graphic show, but it wasn't bad. I think it went for 5 seasons or something. I only watched 2 or 3 seasons.
What was that show called?
What Saving Hope, I think it's called.
Okay.
Bring it up. Yeah, 2012, man, that's old.
You are old.
Don't say that. That makes me feel old.
85 episodes. Yeah. No, so it wasn't a bad show. What about Guy Pearce?
And another Australian.
Yeah. Such Promise.
Bad career choices.
Yeah. I think Memento was his breakout role.
Mm.
That was a fun movie, ruined by the fact the DVD has an option where you can play the movie in chronological order.
Oh, that's annoying.
Mm.
Yeah, Memento, LA Confidential.
I don't know if you could
Yeah,
call. I don't
Locker.
know if you could call him underrated, given all of the mainstream big movies he's been in.
Yeah, I think he's had a lot of like
He
underrated
does, he does a lot of small
performances.
stuff because he gets bored, but he's
Yeah,
also like clearly done like some pretty significant
yeah.
films.
Well, he was in the
Yeah.
MCU. Um,
Yeah, I don't think he
Who,
counts as underrated.
okay,
who was he in the
Having
MCU?
said that, great.
Oh,
Iron Man 3.
Eldrick Killian.
Yeah,
Having
Yes,
said that,
the
great
one you
actor,
said you wouldn't rewatch.
yeah.
great actor, but just not underrated.
Smallville.
Smallville.
I reckon Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
The card.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've watched one episode of this ever.
Kristen
So
Kirk,
this is
obviously,
pretty
a
tough for me.
completely
No, well,
underrated.
I don't know if she's that strong. She's good at certain things, but I don't think she's got that, like depth when it comes to like
You shut
diversity.
your
Hey, no,
whole
look,
mouth.
I love her, but like I don't think she's got the range. Yeah, but Michael Rosenbaum's brilliant, and I don't go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. And always a favorite is John Glover.
Oh, Lionel
Like
Luthor, yeah,
Lionel
yeah.
Luthor, he was brilliant. I mean, everyone turns up in this show. It's ridiculous.
Laura Vandervoort, there's an underrated woman.
Well, she in 23 episodes. Well, I didn't think Supergirl was around that long.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Laura Vandervoort.
Peak Supergirl, you're never going to see anyone like
Peak,
her.
yep. She was the perfect Supergirl.
There you go.
Oh, she in the Oh, I recognize her now. She's in the remake of V
Yeah,
Yes.
with Morena Baccarin.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't.
Man, I was so distraught when they ended it where they did.
What about, and Chris will probably disagree with this one, David Wenham.
How is he underrated? He was in Lord of the Rings, for God's sake.
Minor
He
role,
was
though.
in 300.
He was in 300.
Yeah.
No one can.
Oh,
No,
Van Helsing.
you
Where
cannot
is he
say
now?
you cannot say the word stifling without putting the David Wenham accent on stifling. Like you cannot. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
No, but
the
look,
man
look,
changed the dictionary. It's no longer what a stifling is. What a it's no longer
Was-
what a
was that
stifling day.
the-
It's like what a stifling.
Was that the ending
day.
of 300 when he's narrating?
Yes.
Leonidas takes his helmet off because it's stifling.
Stifling? Yes, his
Yeah.
helmet was stifling.
yeah, but he's never been super a super lead, if you know what I mean. Like,
Oh yeah, but
he's
like
been in.
underrated. No way. Sorry, dude. Like
Um,
like he was in fucking 300
Yeah,
and Van Helsing.
yeah, as side characters.
He gave the big speech at the end.
I
I'm
know.
just
Yeah,
like
but that's one film. That's one film.
he was also in 302. So
302. Was he really?
yes.
See?
Well, then that was a B grade movie, wasn't it?
No.
300 Rise of an Empire, I rate higher than the original
Good film.
300.
300 Rise of the Empire is a very good film.
Eva Green.
I'm not normally a fan of naval warfare,
But
but
it was a very good film.
that
Yeah.
that movie made it really fun. And
Was
Eva
he really
Green,
in it?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. No, he was.
Yes.
yep, Eva Green had this whole phase of Hollywood where it was just, oh, here's Eva Green and her breasts.
I know, it was amazing. It was an incredible phase. I loved it. I loved every minute of that phase.
It was a time.
It was a time. I think. Look, I agree with some of your this, Jamie. I'm not saying you're wrong all the time. Some of your list has merit.
Ooh.
Ooh, yay.
Not all of your list has merit. Some of them are very blatantly obvious, the famous people. But again,
Hey, well, that's it. All comes down to what is it underrated? What's underrated? Because you can be famous for like a day. Does that mean you're not underrated?
but yeah, so people like honestly, it's a good question. But by that logic, maybe by logic, if I'm gonna discount David Wenham, I can't then very much include Jason. David Frank is underrated because he's basically that man shaped a generation of children. So it's also very
Yeah,
difficult to say that he's underrated when
yeah, but he's. I always feel like if you're stuck in TV, you're kind of an underrated actor.
not true, 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 true,
You
true,
know,
true, 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 true.
to get
I
that star
think
pool.
there was a lot of, especially in the 2000s and 2010s, a lot of Hollywood actors that went into TV shows
Yeah, well, just for a stable
because
income.
it gives them a lot more. I mean, cynically, you could say it's a more stable income. I'm trying to be optimistic at the moment.
Mhm.
I prefer to think it more as rather than having 90 to 120 minutes of screen time to act a role, I get several seasons where I can show my range. There will be the inevitable episode in a bottle. There'll
Yeah,
be the usual musical episode that I can show my range in,
yeah,
or the mirror universe or alternate timeline what if, where I can be the same character but totally different. Aha.
And more importantly, once it gets over 100 episodes and gets syndication, you have a check for life basically coming
yeah,
in the mail
yeah, yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
Like so, hey, don't knock the don't knock. Actually, apparently TV residuals are really struggling because of Netflix
Yeah.
because you know.
Yeah, because, well, Netflix and the BBC, because I remember being a big fan of a lot of US shows where a season, like the first season is like 13 episodes, and then every season after that is 21 to 23 episodes long.
Yeah.
In the UK, a season is like 6 episodes.
No, two at best, isn't it? Is it like
Yeah.
like 7 seasons
Yeah.
over 17 years with 14 episodes. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, the Netflix idea of we're not tied to a schedule. You don't have to fit your show into a time slot. Make the episode as long or as short as you feel it needs to be.
Yeah.
This 2 years ago, I would have said, this is a good thing for television. I've been going back and I've been indulging a lot in my guilty pleasure of reaction YouTubers.
Mm.
And there's people who I've done a reaction to every single episode of Angel. All right, do you know what? I'm going to listen to your reactions while I'm working.
Mhm.
And then they'll do let's talk about it after the episode and they'll give their opinion. And
Yep, yep.
they say this episode was fun, but it was filler, or this was really good but has no bearing on the season so far. And I just think to myself, these episodes don't exist in a Netflix model
No.
because they're not doing the fun episodes to
No.
make up one of the 21 episodes they have signed a contract to make. I'm telling a very specific core story with no sidelines.
Mm.
And yet they still waste episodes in Netflix.
Yes, well, I mean, I'm not saying the writing's all good.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, they still waste they waste too many episodes in like, it's like here's 10 seasons on Netflix, here's 10 episodes of Netflix shows. We're gonna waste 3 of them on this dumb plot. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
I mean, not at all talking about that particular one episode of Stranger Things where Elle goes off and meets a bunch of other random psychic kids who have crazy powers, and then we never hear
We
from them
never hear from
again.
it
And
ever
the
again.
only all it serves is for her to walk, for Elle to walk in at the end of an episode with the slick back hair and the eyeliner. That's a
Yes.
long way of saying makeover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
Seriously, those characters all better come back for the finale because what the hell?
the next season that's taking forever. Apparently, they're all movie-length episodes. Like all of them are like an hour and a half long.
They all
It's
look
like
30 now.
I know. It's just like
Yeah,
it took too
and
long.
and Elle I don't know how Millie Bobby Brown has boobs now. Like that's just like
Yeah.
like a full-grown woman's.
Yeah, she's a
It's
woman.
and she's gonna it's done like like the only way to do it is a time skip, but like I'm not sure if they can really do that. That would make sense if they did a giant time skip
Yeah.
and then like bring in some '90s music then.
Oh, you want to do
Mm.
the Guardians of the Galaxy thing? Like
Yep.
every movie is a different era of music.
Yep. Bring in the '90s.
Well, they
I
kind of
missed
have
That
to.
was
I miss the '90s. Oh my God, it was the best.
just a random tangent. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2 soundtracks felt like Tarantino soundtracks.
Yeah.
And then there was Volume 3.
Which was 90s.
Yeah.
I think there was some later, even later music than that. I remember listening to the sound. I remember watching the movie and thinking, man, this soundtrack is not nearly up to par. I mean, they had Creep by that band Radiohead.
Yep.
That's a win in my book. But then there was a lot more modern stuff. I kind of thought,
Well, by you mean by modern, you mean '90s?
no, I'm sure there was some 2000s.
I think there was the
plus
early
stuff
2000s in there too.
Oh, that was true. Yeah. That's right. You're right. Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, everything stopped in the early to mid 2000s, and I'm still in my early 20s.
Yeah.
The '90s was the best era, and early 2000s too.
Oh yes, the 90s was fantastic.
Yeah.
Culturally,
Yep.
everything.
Everything about it was awesome.
I saw a thing that said like in sometime in the 90s there was 4 movies in the cinema all at once. It was like Shawshank, Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Yep.
I think they re-released Star Wars, and it's just like
It was an era of hope. We got City of Angels. We had the Goo Goo Dolls and their various successful songs. And we had
they're 2 songs.
They're 2 songs. You know what? This is turned into the Old Man podcast. Welcome to the Old Man podcast as 3 thespians sit around the table and discuss how old we are and how the
I
women's...
identify as a 23-year-old bigot.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Well. Wait. Do you identify as a 23-year-old, you bigot, or do you identify as a 23-year-old bigot? Because that's like
Both. Why not?
Because it'd be funny.
I absolutely hate that the fact that, again, I've been indulging a lot in reaction channels. They're my guilty pleasure.
Have you watched Bo Burnham?
People... No.
There's a comedian who reacts to react.
Oh no, that's meta. There's people who are reacting to the likes of Terminator 2. And spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't, please tune out if you haven't seen Terminator 2. They're genuinely puzzled as to whether Arnold Schwarzenegger or Robert Patrick is the savior sent back to protect John Connor until that scene after the arcade.
Oh yeah, because that was by design.
Yes, but if you're old enough to remember the marketing for that film, it was blown way before the film hit screens that Schwarzenegger was the goodie this time round.
Yeah.
And yet there are 20-somethings now watching the movie out of the blue and going, oh my God, he's the goodie. And I'm thinking to myself, you are experiencing what I was robbed of because trailers give everything away.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think we should go into a Patreon now and do some reaction videos.
Why are we doing Patreon?
Because We have a
And,
Patreon now.
and Jamie, okay.
Money.
Let me do the advertisement for your Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, boys and girls, I know, and I am doing a little bit of Knight's Tale, a little bit of rant there, which is again best rant. We stand before you here to announce something that I believe you've all been wanting for. For eons, you've wondered, how can I continue to support such excellent content as Jamie listening to an interviewer or a bookseller rant about his wares? How can I support and indulge in Needle's fantasies and fetishes about overthrowing the British government? And how can I support Chris's long and exciting journey from incest to step incest and now to traditional relationships and Disney films? And how can I see pictures of Jamie's feet? Well, I can answer this to you right now. Patreon. If you sign up today for the next 3 months, Jamie will send you pictures of his feet. And I will tell you this as a solemn vow to the podcast: any Patreon subscriber of any value will receive Jamie's feet pics.
Wow. There you go.
That's advertised now. You're committed.
You're
You're
committed. Let me just tell you, you are in for a treat when you receive these pictures.
Yep. Wonderful.
And if you go to the higher tiers of his Patreon, maybe he'll send you his shoes. His worn, well-worn shoes.
Okay. Is that the advertisement?
That is the advertisement.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, guys, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com if you want to reach out
And get pictures of Jamie's feet.
and get pictures of my feet, sign up to our Patreon, and yeah, let's go right in.
Okay.
Yes! Why don't I have that in my life?
Oh, I've seen this.
That looks like more of a concept than an actual. What? Do they have workable models yet, or? Well, I'm just saying, if we take these super large, powerful apex predators and we put them into an environment, let's say we put them in Alaska, how long before they hunt the other timber wolves?